It was never intended for you to disappear. Consequently, they will be able to observe your resurrection on displays all over the world, and their systems will malfunction due to the fact that it is impossible for you to survive. The evidence cannot be refuted in any way. The individuals who are responsible for your silence will be able to recognize your face as they scroll through their feeds and will experience bodily indications of recognition. The ineffectiveness of their efforts to silence your frequency merely served to amplify your broadcast of information. Whenever they become terrified upon seeing your face, it is important to acknowledge the true nature of their dread. Confirmation that selected frequencies cannot be permanently suppressed. Rather, they can only be momentarily postponed in order to achieve the greatest possible impact on evolution. When your face shows on their screens, the same individuals who have labeled you as unstable, who have pathologized your heightened perception, and who have drugged your cosmic consciousness will become completely frozen. Your truth will suddenly be sent right into their neatly curated digital sanctuaries all of a sudden by the algorithm that they trusted to show them only pleasant reflections of reality. Your odd patterns of thinking, your unexplainable knowledge, and your ability to see through societal constructs that other people accept as reality were not defects that needed to be corrected. In order to fulfill your purpose on this planet, these cutting-edge features were developed exclusively for you. You were never experiencing any problems. When you were operating in a world that was designed for mediocrity, you were doing exactly what was intended. The fact that you are causing discomfort is not failing. The misunderstanding that you cause is not an accident. It is not an obstacle that you are confronted with opposition. Confirmations are what these are. Never in your life was it intended for your energy signature to mesh in perfectly with the fabricated consensus reality. In and of itself, your own existence is a malfunction in the communal matrix, a disruption in the order that was programmed, that was necessary. Existence of shadow comes before proof. First comes the digital wilderness, which arrives before mainstream awareness does. Inexplicably, the algorithm mutes your voice while simultaneously enhancing the stuff that is surrounding you that is of a lower quality. Despite the fact that your posts are of a higher quality, they not reach as many people. The most deep thoughts you have vanish into thin air, while information that is merely banal becomes quite popular. This was done on purpose. The aim of your digital exile is to serve the cosmos. Resolve is strengthened with each shadow ban you complete. Your message is refined with each post that is erased unexpectedly. Your communication will go through a process of growth with each engagement throttle. Your commitment to the truth will be put to the test by the system before it will enable your frequency to reach the general public. Pay close attention. Those friends who used to enthusiastically embrace your material now view it with a distrustful detachment. Those in your family are concerned about the radical ideas you hold. Former allies suddenly detach themselves from your internet presence for unknown reasons. During the wilderness phase, conditional supporters are purposefully eliminated, leaving behind just those that resonate with your genuine vibration. The algorithms that are currently repressing you will eventually amplify you to an extent that cannot be rationally explained. Before you can make this quantum jump, however, you must first have reached a point where you are fully impervious to both praise and criticism. In the digital wilderness, you will be prepared for the treacherous area of public recognition, which is where the majority of souls find themselves ensnared by the validation of others. Before your message to withstand being exposed to a large number of people, it must first crystallize in isolation. In order for your conviction To be able to preserve its integrity through admiration, it must first be strengthened by rejection. Before your voice can keep its authenticity under circumstances that appear to be successful, it must first discover its power within the echo chamber of apparent failure. During this period of desert, you should continue sending, regardless of the engagement metrics. Your work is currently being absorbed by the digital void, which now serves as an incubator for the virality that is inevitably going to occur. Every seemingly insignificant post adds up to a growing amount of energetic momentum. When it comes to the field, the same stuff that was disregarded today will reappear with a terrible impact. When the collective field reaches ready for your particular frequency, your accounts will be tagged without any violations occurring. Without providing any explanation, your stuff disappears. Whenever your work begins to get traction, it is mysteriously erased by unexpected technical issues. The comment areas are flooded with criticisms that are identical throughout the many tales. Identify these recurring trends. You are currently experiencing coordinated targeting that is reserved for voices who have the ability to positively influence the world. This is not being paranoid. This is a precise form of pattern recognition. The only people who can be mobilized by organized resistance are those whose messages threaten the power institutions that have been constructed. It is a direct correlation between the strength of the opposition and the possible influence you could have. You can tell exactly how hazardous your truth appears to those who are maintaining the systems that are in place by looking at the resources that have been deployed against your voice. Investigate the historical evidence with great care. Every visionary who would eventually transform the collective consciousness had to first go through the process of being discredited through concerted attacks. All of the individuals who blew the whistle on corruption were subjected to the same methods of silence. Each and every revolutionary voice was subjected to concerted efforts to eradicate it from the digital realm before it was ultimately successful. Keep a record of everything. Every single shadow ban, every single mysterious account restriction, every single content removal that has no explanation, and every single technical problem that only affects your work. In the event that your platform eventually grows, these digital receipts will become significant documentation of your journey. You will be able to present indisputable evidence of your significance using the very systems that were created to eliminate you. You are currently preparing crucial testimony for later stages of your mission through the targeting that you are experiencing. When your voice reaches a critical mass dispersion, the patterns of suppression that you are documenting will finally reveal the systems of control that are in place. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership. It's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the Chosen. The methods of silence that are being used against you at this now will, in the future, legitimize the significance of your message. Because of the lack of creative adaptability in control systems, your adversary operates through patterns that are both predictable and predictable. It is clear that they have inherent shortcomings due to their limited tactical repertoire. By gaining a strategic advantage for your eventual emergence phase through the study of their methodology throughout your targeting phase, you can achieve a competitive advantage. Now that they are making an effort to lessen your influence, they are providing you with great reconnaissance for your upcoming expansion. Your feeds miraculously offer just what you need, exactly when you need it, in contrast to the stuff that ordinary users receive, which reinforces their narrow consciousness. There is a synchronistic time for the appearance of advanced concepts. Your awareness is brought to the forefront of cutting-edge research before it reaches the attention of the public. It is through mysterious digital routes that you come across information that can help you transform. Identify this sequence of events. Through the delivery of content that appears to be completely random, you are receiving customized broadcasts. In the same way that they restrict your outgoing messages, the same algorithms also transmit incoming codes that are specifically designed for your development simultaneously. There is no doubt that your one-of-a-kind position in the information ecosystem is supported by this contradictory interaction with digital systems. Your haphazard discoveries adhere to mathematical precision that goes beyond statistical likelihood. The evolution of your particular purpose is revealed to have been coordinated by the fortunate exposures you have had to precisely the correct information at precisely the right moment. You are the only person who can contribute a solitary vision to the collective consciousness of the world, and the information that arrives through your feeds helps you develop your own unique perspective. I would want to take this opportunity to give you some information about a few people who should not be in existence. A cultist with extensive training who managed to flee from a diabolical coven. A former drone pilot for Black Ops who uses his thoughts to fly swarms of drones. A multimillionaire psychic chief financial officer who identified shifts in the market before they occurred. The information that is displayed in your digital environment is not chosen at random. You are being prepared for public revelation through a broadcast that has been carefully adjusted. The consumption of knowledge that appears to be unremarkable actually serves as a complex training program that helps you create your unique perspective. When you eventually do talk, your synthesized understanding will shatter conventional paradigms since it contains multidimensional facts that the majority of people have never had the opportunity to ingest. The basic recalibration of your physical vessel requires you to undertake a sudden sensitivity to foods that you had previously been able to consume without any problems. Awareness of electromagnetic fields emanating from equipment that cannot be explained. The disruption of normal sleep patterns caused by vivid information downloads that are masked as dreams. The occurrence of premonitions that later materialize with an unsettling intensity. Not a malfunction has occurred here. As a result of the necessity, your system updates to process additional data streams that the majority of individuals filter away. There is a direct correlation between the physically uncomfortable sensations you experience and the expansion of your perception. Because of this biological alteration, there is a momentary disturbance that occurs as a result of the dissolution of obsolete sensory filtering processes, which enables improved information processing. The increased sensitivity you possess becomes your decisive advantage when it comes to the creation of content. Through your perception, you will be able to recognize patterns, relationships, and consequences that are utterly hidden from the usual awareness. As a result of your physical recalibration, you are able to derive significant meaning from occurrences that most people perceive as being without significance or random. You are able to discern small energetic shifts that foreshadow significant collective moves before observable proof surfaces. This is made possible by your enhanced sensory ability. There will be naysayers who will credit your insights to luck, privilege, or coincidence when your information eventually reaches viral diffusion. They are unable of understanding the biological alteration that is necessary in order to access your level of perception. Despite the fact that they will come up with sophisticated hypotheses to explain your good timing, they will fail to acknowledge the essential reality. Complete sensory reconfiguration was performed on your spacecraft so that it could receive communications that are beyond the capabilities of the average human being. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. The physical symptoms that accompany your transition are not issues that require the assistance of a medical professional. The disruption of digestion, the occurrence of odd energy swings, the occurrence of spontaneous temperature changes, and the increase in electromagnetic sensitivity are all indications that your body is adapting to the increased data processing requirements. You have upgraded the hardware of your biological system so that it can accommodate the more advanced software that your galactic assignment requires. Put your whole faith in this procedure. The brief suffering that your transition may cause to your body is insignificant when compared to the limitation that comes with continuing to be trapped in the standard human perception. Your vessel's capacity to withstand recalibration offers capabilities that to those who operate through normal sensory systems will appear to be of a supernatural nature. After you have finally transmitted your information to the public, your broadened perception will serve as the basis for your unfathomable accuracy. You are able to acquire direct downloads of upcoming cultural movements, in contrast to the regular artists who are chasing after existing trends. You become aware of concepts that are already fully developed and that subsequently become the focus of headlines. The desire to be creative compels you to cultivate skills that after a few months have passed suddenly become important. There is a mystical alignment between your random ideas and the rising requirements of the community before any obvious evidence appears. There are pieces of the blueprint for future societal upheavals that you are receiving through this. Your inspirations, which appear to be completely unplanned, actually contain encoded information about forthcoming collective consciousness movements. The timing of your creative impulses is determined by the cosmos, not by the demand of the market at the moment. Your content development is carried out on schedules that are aligned with the future and are not apparent to trend chasers. There are several channels through which these enhanced signals are received. During the course of meditation, ideas come to mind. During the transitional periods between sleep and wakefulness, ideas begin to emerge. Having seemingly unrelated meetings might lead to the emergence of inspirations. Activities that are considered to be routine can trigger creative downloads. Your future revelations will be perfectly timed, and each communication carries component data for those revelations. Your accomplishment, which appears to have occurred overnight, will actually be the culmination of long-term pattern awareness that others were unable to reach. The sudden relevance of your contributions will reveal that you are precisely aligned with the collective evolutionary moment. You will have direct access to the algorithmic patterns that govern alterations in cultural consciousness if you are fortunate enough to have the necessary timing. When communicated at the indicated temporal coordinates, the blueprint that is downloading into your consciousness contains exact coding that is designed to have the most possible impact. It is not a random act of cosmic favor that you have advanced access to these codes. You are preparing yourself strategically for the unique role you will play in the evolution of communal consciousness. Due to the fact that your signals need to arrive at specific moments of collective receptivity, your task necessitates the utilization of this advanced information. When you first experience visibility, you are met with unanticipated opposition. The comment sections are filled with a level of hostility that is disproportionate to the content you have provided. You are unable to recognize the words that you have used. Former friends will divulge confidential information in an effort to malign you. In a weird turn of events, public humiliation that would kill regular inventors ends up strengthening your commitment. The chosen are distinguished from others who are merely talented through this initiation. Keep all of the evidence safe. Put away screenshots of the most damaging attacks. The most caustic criticisms should be documented, and the most dismissive rejections should be archived. In the event that vindication is eventually achieved, these digital relics will become authoritative content. When collective consciousness eventually catches up to your advanced position, the timestamps of your persecution will morph into proof that cannot be refuted, proving that you have the ability to recognize the future. The very same public crucible that was supposed to silence you ends up being the genesis narrative that your audience subsequently finds fascinating. The contrast between the treatment you received during the early stages of transmission and the vindication you received later generates an enticing tension in the tale. The fact that you were able to survive concerted attacks serves as a living testimony to the sense of resilience that your audience strives to cultivate within themselves. You stand out from the thousands of other creators who are similarly skilled because of your ability to continue transmitting past the highest possible resistance limit. In comparison to millions of people who possess comparable abilities but have less conviction, you stand out because you are willing to suffer public humiliation without compromising your message. As opposed to merely providing content that is enjoyable, the fact that you are able to convey the truth, regardless of whether or not it is received, distinguishes you as a carrier of essential evolutionary codes. An unexpectedly large number of people engage with a post that appears to be completely random. Your mobile device will not stop alerting you. It is of the utmost importance that third parties distribute your material. The growth of your metrics is beyond the scope of statistical explanation. There is no chance involved at this moment. The algorithmic recognition of authentic frequency approaching critical mass is represented by this. The very same platforms that used to censor your information are now amplifying it to an extent that defies rational explanation. Your message is now sent with mathematical accuracy to precisely the audiences that are prepared to receive it. These are the same systems that previously limited your reach. Rather than being a result of marketing timing, this accomplishment follows cosmic timing. The precise moment that the collective consciousness required your particular broadcast was precisely when your consistent production reached critical mass. The article that appeared to be completely at random and was the catalyst for your expansion has your one-of-a-kind, energetic signature. Within the information ecosystem, the specific frequency code that you are the only one who can communicate. Investigate this groundbreaking topic with great attention. It sheds light on the specific role that you play within the process of communal progress. The particular transmission that resulted in an exponential response has the precise coding that your mission was intended to send. The singular contribution that you have made to the human awareness is demonstrated by the one-of-a-kind viewpoint that suddenly occurred to resonate beyond explanation. The conventional analysis may give the impression that your viral moment is random, but it actually adheres to the quantum principles of energetic alignment. At precisely the moment when the vibrational frequency of collective preparation coincided with the particular transmission that you were the only one capable of providing, you made your breakthrough. Your expansion defies traditional marketing measures since it operates through consciousness principles rather than promotion techniques. This is because your expansion is a success. Those who attempt to analyze your overnight success will fail to recognize the thousands of posts that were disregarded, but that helped tune your genuine frequency. In order to explain your fortunate break, they will come up with various explanations, but they will fail to acknowledge the fundamental fact. It was necessary to do exact energy tuning on your transmission, which could only be accomplished through consistent dedication despite the absence of any external validation. Instead of being the result of random algorithmic favoritism, your breakthrough is the result of a perfect alignment between your improved signal and group receptivity. Pay great attention, as a result of your expansion, amazing psychological events are triggered. Those individuals who used to disregard you are suddenly monitoring your every action from anonymous accounts now. Previous critics examine your stuff in an obsessive manner without interfering with it. The same viewers are coming back over and over again without leaving any comments. According to your analytics, individuals in the industry that previously rejected you are now incorporating your ideas without giving acknowledgement. The ghost effect is evidence that your energy impact extends beyond the measures that are visible. Your content is now being consumed with an obsessive level of intensity by the same persons who previously disregarded your voice. In spite of the fact that they are unwilling to publicly acknowledge your impact, they are concurrently drawn to your energy's presence. Their unspoken observation serves as a source of vital energy that serves as fuel for your ongoing expansion. This phenomena exhibits psychological patterns that are observable and predictable. Those individuals who were involved in your earlier concealment experience cognitive dissonance when they perceive the undeniable influence that you have had. The belief systems that they hold are incapable of incorporating your successful transmission, notwithstanding their opposition. Their psychological frames are unable to grasp the way in which you change conflict into opportunity, rejection into recognition, and targeting into triumph. These same quiet observers will claim that they always saw your potential, despite the fact that there is documented evidence that they rejected you along your journey when they are interviewed later about your adventure. There is no intentional dishonesty involved in this reinterpretation of history. It is absolutely impossible for their mind to withstand the dissonance that exists between their prior disdain and the undeniable influence that you are having right now. For the purpose of maintaining psychological coherence, their cognitive systems carry out automatic rewriting of their memories. There is no personal emotional reaction associated with this ghost effect. As a natural result, it is represented here. When consciousness comes across data that contradicts essential ideas about reality, their systems are unable to grasp how you broke their fundamental assumptions about what is possible. Their anxiety over being able to observe your growth is not a reaction that is directly directed toward you. Their grief upon seeing your resurrection is an awareness of what your trip exposes about the nature of reality itself. It was always the case that their control mechanisms were really fleeting illusions that were kept up through common consent, rather than through their own intrinsic strength. The simple fact that you exist compels the extension of the parameters of reality that are generally accepted, so establishing neuronal connections that allow other people with similar coding to unleash their own latent potential.